It's time to go beyond Plus Ultra for more Boku no Hero Academia reviews.
I mean, we could just chill in the car with these three. You know,
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sure Endeavor would move aside for both of us, right?
sure. Oh, oh, and before I get on this, I was teasing with you the other day that my one friend has a theory on why Best Jeanist neck is the way it is.
Oh, oh, this should be good.
He manipulated the fibers in his neck and they got stuck that way.
What? I mean, I think fibers have been pretty clearly defined for him, at least, to be some kind of like fabric material, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think he has fibers in his neck,
but
unless there was some horrible, horrible like clothing accident.
but then he followed it up with, I don't know.
I swear, there's something with his neck. Like it's so long,
Oh,
and in a world where it's nothing but quirks, I have to assume it's got something to do with that.
maybe. But Best Genius is his favorite character, even to the point of when Best Genius came back in episode 11 or 12 of this season.
Mm-hmm.
He was half drunk at the time, and he was like, Best Genius is alive!
What? Why? I have to ask the question: why was he half drunk?
Uh,
Did
he,
he just
di-
feel like it that day?
he didn't want to elaborate on it when I asked him.
Having a bad day, and Best Genius showing up. Oh man, that put him over the top.
But apparently his sister came in and was like, what's going on? Who's alive? And he's like, Best Genius on the show I'm watching. And his sister had no idea what was going on and just was like, okay.
This is what happens when you're a closet weeb. You say these crazy sounding things, and people are like, "Okay, just whatever's fine," and just back away slowly.
And one of my customers that I was talking to like a few weeks ago, I just mentioned about the channel, and he was mentioning like some of the stuff we did, and I mentioned Beastars, and his daughter was into that. So I'm like,
Uh, what? I hesitate to ask what age she was.
21?
Oh, okay, okay, all right. I'm like, was she like 12? Because we said some shit on there that she probably shouldn't have heard.
No, but I mean, she likes Beastars. She may not have listened to our episode yet.
Well, I mean, even on B Stars, I feel like there's some shit that a 12-year-old shouldn't watch.
Definitely. Maybe even some shit on this show that might be a little bit too intense for a 12-year-old.
Mm, I'm going to disagree.
Yeah, because they had Krillin being blown up at point blank range in Dragon Ball Z.
That's literally what I was thinking. Well, I mean, if you watch the original Dragon Ball, Krillin straight up dies. Like he's died twice, at least.
And it
Technically
probably
3 times because I think Boo eats him too at one point.
and it's probably some shonen that is considered kid friendly that has dark points to it because Japan's standards for kid friendly is different than American standards of kid friendly.
Oh yeah, no, we're perfectly fine with our kids watching people just outright be obliterated in front of them. That's normal. Now you want to watch them having putting the penis in the vagina, and then that's a whole other thing.
Ah, yeah.
I'd have to rewatch Beastars to really like formulate that opinion again to be sure, but I think 12 might be a little bit too young. Like maybe 14. I'd be like, all right,
Should
go ahead. You should be
should
fine.
I eat it or should I fuck
You give her the cereal box first.
it?
Then as she gets used to that when she turns 14, then you're like, all right, now you can watch the show this is from.
The guy knew of the meme, but he didn't know it was Beastars. But enough about other anime. We're here to discuss Boku no Hero, Season 6, Episode 20.
I mean, you say that, but we see a character in here who almost looks like they could be in Beastars.
Right, right. Like, was it some kind of fox?
Fox? Well, something like that. I'm not quite sure. Some kind of carnivore. Furry
Ye-
carnivore.
Yeah, and she's being accosted by Quirkurasis.
Look, man. All right. She looked like a threat. What did you want us to do?
Although it
Shouldn't go around looking like that.
although it was non-violent, I love the guy's water gun.
Yeah, just like a fucking. It's a bubble gun almost because it seems like it's not a spray. It's just a blob.
Yeah, but I would just love that.
Look, you're super soaker. Look what I got.
And of course, Deku saves her.
Oh yeah, she's got like rabbit looking ears. I forgot about that. Yeah, so I'm not sure what exactly she is. If she had antlers, I'd say she's the jackalope.
According to the Boku no Hero wiki, her character name is Ordinary Woman.
I mean, in this world, yeah, that would be about right. Yeah, I don't know what she's got. It's clearly some kind of carnivore because it's got the teeth, but it's got rabbit ears.
Hmm.
It's also blue. Did she have a tail?
I think just the
No, I don't
head was the
think so. Yeah.
only
Well, the head and the
animalistic part.
hands. The hands. The hands have like the white fur.
Hmm.
Oh, and the ankles too. Yeah, you can see it right above the boots before the pant line starts.
Uh,
Yeah,
s-
don't know what she is, but yeah, it's cool design.
yeah. So Deku's like, "Hey, back
She
away,
doesn't have a massively overly long neck.
back away. She's not a threat. Can't you see this? I'll deal with her."
Oh man, that sounds like a threat, Deku. What are you gonna do? I think my sub said I'll handle her. Let's see here. What did mine say?
Uh, and
Mm,
I may be misquoting my subs.
yeah, he calls her harmless. He just says leave her to me.
Oh, and another thing about subs. I don't know why they did this earlier, but last week was the first time in this core we had subtitles for the theme song.
I don't remember if I noticed that or not.
Well, since you have different subs than I do, you may have gotten the subs for the theme song right when it started, but no, the first like 5 episodes had no subtitles for the themes, which is weird.
A little strange about the inconsistency, yeah. But yeah, Deku consoles her because apparently she was trying to get to the shelter. She didn't go earlier because I guess she thought she could ride it out in her house, and that just didn't work out. So yeah, he basically leaves it to All Might to take her to the shelter, and All Might tosses him a lunch kettle, little bento for him.
Delicious tonkatsu.
There better be some tonkatsu sauce in there, please. That's the best
Ooh.
part.
Since I'm so used to eating like katsu as katsudon, I would almost said katsudon. And I'm like, no, no, no. There was no egg, no rice. It was just a pork cutlet.
Look, we don't know what else was in there.
Right.
There might have been. It just might have been a bowl.
But then again, katsudon is usually cut up pieces of pork.
I had one big massive piece too.
Yeah, yeah.
All Might just
Mm,
didn't have the time to cut it up for him.
I love pork cutlets.
And I'm just imagining fucking All Might driving around with like a little mini kitchen inside his car, cooking up food for Deku.
Oh my god! Okay, okay, okay. Slightly veering off the path, but sticking with Boku no Hero. If there was a carnival phantasm like
Oh
series
God.
set in the Boku no Hero world, along with like the vigilante cast, I would just love that about like a cafe that tends to go to like heroes and villains. The guy doesn't
So
discriminate.
so here's the thing, right?
Yes.
I think there's a similar idea already. Have
Where?
you ever watched how it should have ended?
Sometimes.
So it's not quite the same, but you have like the mini series that they usually produce called like the Hero Cafe and like the villain or pub villain or something
Hmm.
like that. I love watching that shit. It's hysterical to like see them interact that way.
Hmm.
Just like I'm here on my off day and just see like all the different Jokers showing up from all the different series, and they're just like, "What the fuck is happening here?"
Oh,
How
and
apparently like, oh god, who's the proprietor? Darth Sidious is the emperor. He's like the proprietor of the pub, right? And the fact that in a tank he has the Jaws shark somewhere in the pub is hysterical.
and it would be Endeavor's wait, second cousin, like second cousin once removed, who has also firepower, but he uses it to like prep food with.
Well, we have the Carnival Phantasm. That's where we find out that like the hands Shigaraki would wear are actually able to move on their own like thing from the Adams family.
Oh my god. Somebody in Japan get on this idea. Get permission from Horikoshi to do a comedy spin-off.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Uh,
So Deku realizes that to pull out all the power of One for All if he does hope to win against Shigaraki.
yep, and apparently the original One for All has convinced the final two to like
All for one.
actually help
One,
out.
one for all, you were right.
To actually help out in doing this. I think it was the second and third users.
Yeah. But
Which
they
makes it seem like he's getting all of the quirks, boyo.
okay. If he does use them all, I will give you a massive load of points.
I mean, it feels like that's what this is building to. I'll be shocked if he hasn't unlocked all of them. Maybe he can't use 100% yet, but like being able to use all the individual quirks would not shock me with the way this is leading.
But at first, second and third were like, hey, he wants to redeem our arch rival. We don't completely agree with this.
I would use the term arch enemy, sir.
Arch, okay.
Rival's a little bit too friendly, I would say, for what All for One is.
Again, I don't have down exact quotes. I'm just paraphrasing, and you're probably right.
Mm-hmm. Although it's weird, right? When he's talking to them at first, while they're still facing the wall, he uses the term "my hero,"
Yes,
which is fucking bizarre.
but remember, the second, or was it second and third, like rescued him from the basement.
Yes. Speaking of which, this little place with all the thrones, that's literally the door they burst open in that
Oh,
flashback. I don't know if this is inside or outside of that room,
okay.
but quite literally, the place where these chairs are set up, that door is in the background.
So now we know where this place is, kind of, sort of.
Kind of the mental vision of it, yeah.
Yeah, so second and third decide to come in after being yelled at by the fifth.
Which we still don't know what their quirks are, because the only thing we see is the second one using like his support item, which seems like some kind of Mega Buster.
Yeah.
So we have no idea what their quirks are.
And the fifth Black Whip guy, crap.
Banjo.
Yes, he was saying
He's missing Kazooie.
he before
Kind
they
of mad we haven't thought of that joke before.
before they decided to cooperate, he was like, "Hey, just get used to the quirks you have, improve on them, and these guys, they might eventually want to work with us."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then we have Endeavor against Nail Gun Guy.
I just realized,
Yes.
right? We get the episode title drop at 9 minutes into this. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Nearly halfway through the episode, and that's when you drop the title.
Well, sometimes we don't get it until the very end of the episode.
Oh, not the title of the episode. Normally it's earlier. It's like within the first 5.
I know Dobby's dance was right at the very end.
Was it? I have to
Yes.
go back and check.
And there was 2 others I want to say.
I just must not have noticed or something. Although Dobby's dance is in the middle of such like a hectic position anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, superpowered nail guns. And then we have Hawks and Best Jeanist coming in with the Jeanist mobile, which I still think needs to be coated in jeans to catch the 2 that were escaping out the back.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Endeavor's dealing with the nail gun dude, and he hits him with like one quick jab of flame, and that's more than enough to put him down. Which makes me wonder if the dude ever had a quirk or if he was just using the nail guns.
I think Endeavor said something along the lines of that support item is too strong for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we can't see a clear quirk that he has.
It was, as of now, 3 episodes this season. Katsuki Bakugo Rising, Dobby's Dance, and Hellish Todoroki Family Part 2. Those all appeared at the very end of the episode.
Jesus fucking Christ. I can't believe I never noticed that. That's dumb. Anyway, as they start to walk away and get into the Genist mobile after, arresting everyone, the crowd is very angry and just yelling things at poor Endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's all his fault. Everything's Endeavor's fault. I do like the idea though of like them hurling shit and Best Jeanist just catching it with fibers, just being like, "Yep, cool, okay."
Not really caring, it's like, just leave Endeavor alone.
Just let it go. Let it get their frustrations out. They'll feel better. Anyway, we do find out that Endeavor's team and All Might are working at a distance, and they're using Deku as bait, basically, to draw out someone from the League of Villains.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Hawks even tells him, "Hey, look, if you run into this lady, run the fuck away, because she's gonna kill you. You don't stand much of a chance."
I did like the fact she could turn her hair into bullets.
That's fascinating. Also, how she loads it is literally through her hand, which just sprouts the opening.
Which is weird. So, you were probably right that she can only not turn her one arm, but like grow a rifle from her one arm.
I mean, her quirk is literally called Rifle, so it seems like that's the case.
Yeah, so
But she can curve bullets.
partial points for me. My exact thing I said was she could turn her. Wait, how do I phrase it? Like, she could turn her limbs into firearms. So my initial thing was.
So hold on, I need to ask one question quick, because I just realized something.
Yes.
If her arms just randomly lit up into flames, would you have counted that? Because now her arms are firearms?
No, I would have counted like gun firearms.
I mean, you get partial points, but I think I disagreed and said solely a sniper rifle.
Oh, okay, but I mean, not last week, like 3-4 weeks ago when we were discussing her.
I mean, when we were looking at the intro, neither of us had any idea what it could be.
Yes.
When we saw the teaser, you started talking about firearms.
I believe I mentioned it first in episode 15 or 16.
I don't think you did.
I will have to go back and find a timestamp for you.
I really don't think so. Because I only remember you talking about it when we got the preview of her, not when we were looking at the intro.
I will have to go back in timestamp for you.
Go ahead. I honestly don't believe it. If I hear it and I'm wrong, fine. But I honestly don't believe it because I do not remember it at all. Then
Okay.
again, my memory's shit, so who knows?
Come on, dude. Your memory can't be that bad.
I remember stories. I don't remember conversations.
Oh,
Ask me about a book I read 10 years ago. I can probably give you a good idea what happens. Don't ask me about what you talked to me about yesterday.
there, dude. There.
Ugh. Yeah, anyway, they're talking about don't fucking get around with Lady Nigant. It's going to end badly. They also talk about, like, why do they need Shigaraki's hatred? They kind of just assume it's like we got to suppress, like, the literal other the other 8 consciousnesses that are fighting him for control. And the fact that All for One doesn't seem to have any humanity left to, like, have those kind of emotions. I'd be curious, like, here's what I want, right? I want like a mini series, right? Once the main show is done, right? I want like a mini series diving into how All for One became the way he is. I'd be super curious to see that.
Maybe vigilantes? No. Vigilantes.
I don't think that would have anything to do with All for One.
No, because I think vigilantes may take place during Endeavor's younger days because I
That really wouldn't explain All for One, though.
yeah. I was because I remember hearing it was a prequel with some of the characters from the main series showing up, but I'm not too sure how much of a
Mm-hmm.
prequel it is because if some characters from the main series show up, it might only be like 30 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So that means Endeavor may be around, but
I'm
All
gonna
for
say
One's
I think
origins.
there was a movie that had like All Might in his prime. I want to say I forget which one it was, but I'm pretty sure there was a movie released about All Might being in his prime,
Mm.
like taking place during that time frame, which would mean you probably saw Endeavor too.
Oh, interesting. In Japanese, it's called Boku no Hero Academia Outlaws, not
Interesting.
Vigilantes.
Yeah, so that's a completely different take on what that would mean then.
Hmm.
'Cause, that's weird. Because like your connotation with a vigilante versus an outlaw means a wildly different feeling to it. Like an outlaw is someone who like it feels like someone who's doing the wrong thing, even if it'll end with a good outcome. A vigilante is someone who's operating just like alongside the law, but not next to it,
Oh,
right?
wait. Illegals. I'm sorry. Boku no Hero
Oh,
Academia illegals.
so they crossed the wall. Got it. I
Mm,
I don't even know how to handle that one. Illegals?
yeah.
Where did you get outlaw from then?
I misremembered the title. I was just going through my memory, and there was this like nagging thing in the back of my mind. It's like, no, it's not Outlaws. What is it? So I looked it up.
Okay.
Uh, doesn't really say at a glance how far before the original series this takes place.
Hmm. Anyway, they do also kind of reveal that like All for One himself has to like his current body needs like life support to survive, right?
Yes.
Which is part of the reason why he also wanted Shigaraki. He wants to not have to deal with life support. He doesn't want to become Darth Vader and have to wear the helmet and everything.
Hmm. Exactly.
What I'm more curious about is how he's planning to reunite his consciousness. like his main consciousness with Shigaraki's body,
I'm not
or is he just
sure.
gonna like let his old body die?
I'm not sure.
Either that, or both sides fight each other, which I still think would be interesting.
Maybe something will happen in the final arc where I no, like that's really dumb. Like I was going to say he somehow reclaims his youth, but I don't even know how that would be possible.
Oh, he just gathers the 7 Dragon Balls and wishes for it.
I completely forgot about the Dragon Balls.
Look, how do you think Bulma's not aged a day? Every couple of years, she wishes herself younger by a few years, so nobody notices. You think I'm joking? That's literally canon in the fucking Super. What she was doing, do you not remember this?
No.
She was literally gathering them to consistently wish herself younger. And doing it at increments where people wouldn't notice. Or, you could be like Frieza and just wish to be taller.
So there's
Oh,
a
man.
flashback to the pro hero Snipe talking about Lady Nigant and how she's a much better sniper than he is. She can make any kind of bullet possible.
I don't know if he says that outright, at least not in my subs. But he references a couple of that ones that she can make.
Yeah, like hollow point and curving bullets.
Yep, hollow point curving bullets, yep. Now the question would then become, right, what's her close combat situation? Because that rifle is going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Maybe she could use it as a bludgeoning weapon?
maybe, but she's got to hold her arm in an awkward angle to do that. Like she's got to swing her elbow at someone. Like maybe the force of like when it shoots out of her elbow, maybe? I don't know. It's weird. I'm curious what the plan is once somebody gets up close, because there has to be something. Also, it's Overhaul that's with her, who's still really fucked up, like mentally fucked up. Don't know what's going on with him right now. Apparently, the teaser gives us a little something that he might say. Might be saying something there, but otherwise, oh.
And it seems that he's at a point where he might be able to be redeemable because it just seems like, oh, prison's open. Okay, I'm just gonna wander out with everybody else.
He does talk about seeing the boss, like his adopted dad,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about it. Like he just says boss multiple times, and that's about all.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Bullet shoots Deku's phone, which had the GPS in it, just out of there. Kind of surprised they didn't have more than one on him. Like, stick a little tracker in his suit as well as the phone. Anyway, they all freak out, and then we get some kind of. I'm not even sure. Like, I'm looking at it right now on the freeze frame, and it looks like a jar. Like, it looks like a clear jar. Like a mason jar almost. That's thrown at him. Like, right out the window. And I'm just sitting here like, that's not a grenade, or at least doesn't look like one. Whatever it is, it does explode.
And blows up All Might's car.
Yeah, we don't know what the heck the result is because we don't see All Might after this.
Hopefully All Might's not dead.
Unlikely, because if Night Eye's prophecy is still supposed to happen, he's supposed to be taken out by like a big villain. And I can't imagine just a random grenade is going to do that. Plus, I'm sure that car's got some like defensive capabilities to it, as far as like armoring and shit.
What if the grenade is the villain the entire time?
Well, then it just suicide bombed him now, didn't it?
You thought it was a grenade, but it was me, Dio.
If it was Dio, he'd just be tossing knives. In fact, he'd just freeze time step in front of him, stick his foot out, and then restart time and have him trip over it, fall to the ground, break his nose.
Dio is an asshole.
If Dio was a petty child, if Dio as a petty child had to stand. Remember the football game that he has with Jonathan in the first series, right?
Yeah.
How many times would he have just frozen time, taken the ball from Jonathan, and been like, "Yeah, look at me, I got the ball. Woo! I made the goal, you suckers." Like he'd just be slowly, like every so often, pausing time, so he'd be just a little bit further ahead of the people chasing him, just enough that they wouldn't notice it. They'd be like, "Man, Dio's super fast. We can't catch him at all. He's scoring goals like crazy. Damn, Jonathan, if only you were as good as Dio was."
Oh my god. So it seems that Lady Nigant, as she was escaping, she met up with One for All. I mean, All for One, who gave her a little mission
Yep.
and gave her an additional quirk.
So now here's my question. Is her life now vastly shortened?
Last week, we
Uh-huh.
said that they said that it was all for one.
Yes, but if we're going to go by
The
the
multiple quirks
description that we were
shorten it.
talking about, right, where the cup floweth over,
I
you
will.
know,
I will say maybe now. I will say maybe.
because
Maybe.
now, if that's the case, their life is shortened. My next question would be, what about the Nomus? Would that mean their life is vastly shortened, or do they have like some kind of longer life quirk thrown in there or something?
But aren't they technically dead?
Technically, yes, but aren't they still alive? They have to have some kind of life to be animated that way. They're not animatronics. They have some sort of life, even if they're made
Huh.
of dead bodies like Frankenstein.
Hmm.
They have to have something.
Interesting. And this new quirk of hers, airwalk.
Yep, I'm gonna walk on air. I'm kind of surprised he didn't give her something better, unless, she's got more than one quirk.
No, 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 no.
Or more
Airwalk.
than two.
Airwalk is a perfect quirk for a sniper.
I was thinking more like close range combat type of quirk as well.
Ah, okay.
I get airwalk because it means you can just, fuck off to another building to shoot from, change your position. But at the same time, right?
Or even between buildings.
Well, here's the thing, right? Deku says because he gets shot at twice and manages to block both, or either dodge or block both.
Mm-hmm.
He knows where she's located. So airwalk means she's going to fire from a different place now. So that's going to throw off, like as he's heading to where her original placement was, she's going to fire at him.
And she's surprised that he's like the first person to dodge her bullets.
To take more than 2 bullets to get the person down. Yeah. It's the first time anyone withstood both my shots. That's my quote anyway.
And Deku
But
manages to catch one of the bullets.
I don't know if he outright catches it, or like, is he still holding it afterward? Also, I'm noticing something now that I'm watching this a second time. Her elbow is smoking, so I wonder if she has a limit on how many rounds she can fire
At once?
in succession.
Okay.
Because she had 2 and her elbow's smoking now. Can she only fire 3 or 4? Maybe before the gun starts overheating?
Maybe.
That might be the moment where Deku gets to take an advantage here, is like waiting for the point where she needs to like cool down and not use it. At that point, she'd probably be, I don't want to say defenseless because I don't know what the fuck else All for One gave her, but less dangerous, I will say then.
Oh. Do you think he gave her any quirk as, like, I don't know if I'm going to use this word right, but contingency against her going like, like I'm not going to do this anymore?
Well, see, that's my other thing. Like, just because he hands her just say the airwalk quirk, assuming there's not more to it, why did she agree to it? Is it just because like she doesn't like Hero Society for her whatever her own reasons are? Because we do learn for some reason she killed her partner Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know the reason. I have to assume whatever the reason is, it must be bad. Because it seems like they're setting her up here to be like a tragic figure that was brought down by someone on the inside. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting.
What is her hero title?
I think it's quite literally Lady Nigant.
No, 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 no.
Also, we should point out, right? I want to point out when Snipe is talking, they're literally talking about the names of their quirks. We had this discussion before where it's like, shouldn't people know that One for All is All Might's quirk? Yeah, because right now we have an example of Snipe talking about his quirk that's literally called Snipe. They're talking about it on daytime TV.
I cannot find it on the Boku wiki, but kind of like Endeavor is, I think, like the blazing hot hero.
Oh, that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
I
don't know.
I think I'm pretty sure they covered it in the episode, but I cannot find it here.
I only remember them calling her Lady Nagant. I
Oh,
remember a title during it, but that's my subs, not
hmm.
yours.
And I could be wrong. Because if they don't show it here, she probably wasn't given one.
Or it just didn't come up in this flashback. I feel
Maybe.
like they've kind of gotten rid of that, like
Mm,
left it at the wayside. I don't remember it coming up like recently at all.
mm.
But yeah, anyway, point is, they talk about their quirk title, like their quirk names. So why didn't people already know what One for All was?
Maybe he used a fake name for his quirk, like, I have the muscle body quirk.
I mean, that's what I said before. That'd be the only explanation for why they wouldn't know what that name was. He had to have used another one or said he never named it. One of the two. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just sitting here like, okay, so if people talk about their named quirks, it's not just something for Horikoshi to just be able to quickly reference what the ability is. It is something that is mentioned in universe. Then people should know what his name, what the quirk name is for One for All.
Mm, yeah.
But yeah, we get Airwalk, and that's kind of the end of the episode. So yeah, I'm curious actually what Airwalk can do. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I'm guessing it is kind of like float, but different
I
somehow.
here's my main question: can she elevate and like change? Can she go up and down, or is she stuck on a flat plane?
Like if she would act like she would be walking up steps, could she?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's kind of my question of like because we see her walk off the building, and it seems like she stays at the same height where she walks off. I assume that if you're dropping from a high place, you can activate the quirk and then you'll just hop on that level plane. Whether or not you could go up from there, who knows? Down at minimum, I could understand. I don't know if it works as far as going up.
Yeah. Hmm.
I guess technically you could if you would just activate and deactivate the quirk. Although, no, that wouldn't make sense actually. Not unless you were able to do that individually for each leg. If you're going to rapidly activate and deactivate it.
I do not know.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Because, I mean, otherwise it's effectively flying. You just need the muscles to make it happen.
Ah, Airwalk grants the user the ability to stand on and control the air around them, granting them levitation. Airwalk facilitates mobility, allowing the user better offensive and evasive abilities due to not being confined to the ground. The quirk can be utilized to either float straight upwards as
Okay.
well as able to walk or skip across invisible platforms while in midair.
So here's my question.
Wait. Apparently, we've seen it done by All for One in episode 47.
Don't remember it, but hey, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, so when they say control air, that's what I'm most curious about. Is it allowing for like solid platforms made out of air for them to walk on?
I'm guessing yes.
Then could you technically block an attack with that solid air mass?
If it's under your feet, maybe.
I mean, that would also come down to how fragile is it. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, it can support your weight, but that's about it, as far as we can tell, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I would be curious because controlling air is something that's. I mean, we've talked about it when we talked about Avatar. That shit can be way overpowered real fast.
Hmm. Well, we'll maybe have to wait until the next episode to find out.
Probably, although it probably won't show us the extent, considering this is not her original quirk and she probably doesn't have training with it.
Yeah.
And we might find out if she has more than one quirk and if she'll just die in the middle of this assassination because her life force has just been cut in half multiple times by all these different quirks.
You're not gonna leave that up, are you?
No, because it doesn't make sense.
Hmm. Well, next time it seems like the battle between Deku and Lady Nigant will continue.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna back up here. What's the difference between a fused quirk and two quirks?
Is this some kind of like Jerry Seinfeld punchline?
No, because I'm actually asking the question. What is the actual difference at that point?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We almost forgot to discuss the teaser, so I'm just going to insert that here.
There's not much, honestly. We do get to see that apparently her rifle can sprout a scope. We didn't see that earlier.
Mm.
At least not that I'm recalling when I breezed through this. But yep, Izuku's blasting himself through a building to try and catch her, and she just jams him in the stomach with the rifle. We're probably gonna get a little flashback as to what her backstory is. Expected. Although, here's what's interesting.
Okay.
It seems like we get a flash of All for One, and it looks like he's on a throne in a cave.
I wonder what that means.
I don't know. The way it's kind of being viewed here, it almost makes me wonder if he's implanted his consciousness in her mind
Oh.
somehow. Because we go from that to like her eyes just widening or something, right?
Hmm.
And like, is he inside her somehow? I'm not sure.
Mm.
But then we get a shot of like a hand, which doesn't look like Nagant's. I think it might be Deku's, turning black. So I'm wondering if that's one of the other quirks.
Well, we'll probably
Actually,
find.
wait, hold on. Let me take a look at that hand again.
We'll find out next week, whatever it is.
I don't think it's Deku's. I think that might actually be Nagant's.
Ooh.
I think Deku's has the scars on that hand because it's the right hand, and that one doesn't look like it has scars. So I think that's Nagant's hand.
Ooh.
And that would be her rifle hand too.
What does that mean?
Also, Overhaul's here running and shouting things.
Huh.
So he's got something to say, but that's about it. Oh, I'm curious.
Yeah, me too. And with that,
Anyway, bye.
goodbye.